Hi, my name's David and I'm going to show you what I want to do with this image in Capture One. So here we can see the image out of camera with just some cropping applied, and this is the end result I'm going to get to. So before I do anything else and begin the black and white conversion, I just want to see if there's any base corrections that would make sense. So by looking at the image I can see it's a little bit too dark, so I'll just brighten that up slightly. And also, before going to the levels, there's one important preference that I want to check, which is the channel mode here, so that my auto levels will be done on individual red, green and blue channels. That simply means if there's any color cast in the image, then the auto levels will help to remove that. If I want to refine that, I can just go to the individual channels and just adjust as necessary. So that's done a nice job. I'll probably add a small amount of clarity just to bring out the mid-tone contrast a bit better before I now go on to do the black and white conversion. So I'm going to use a style in the Improve Styles tool in Capture One 10.1. So just by scanning down the list, I can see the various different results of the styles like so, but I think I'll settle on this one. One click to apply, and I get a nice result from that particular style. Now the only thing I can see is that I might have lost a small amount of highlight detail, so I just go back and refine that by bringing up the highlight slider just to bring that detail back in the clouds, and maybe a few points on the shadow slider as well. So I'm happy with that, and the next thing to do for me is to add a local adjustment so I can selectively darken some parts of the image just to get a bit more drama in the clouds. So I'll make a new layer and call this darken. Go to my Luma curve and just drop the mid-tones down a small amount because I'm looking at darkening these kinds of areas. Grab my brush, right click to check the settings, and I'll go for a relatively low opacity and flow, just so that I can build up the mask in a nice, slow and controlled way. It's happening a little bit too fast, so I'll take the flow down a bit more, just so it gives me a chance to really carefully bring up those areas that I want to. Like so. I see that there's probably some rain or something in the center, so I can just do a couple of passes of the brush just to accentuate that a little bit more as well. I can also see around here it looks like there's a rain spot or something like that, so I can deal that too with a heal layer. So click and hold, I can bring up new heal layer. Let's call this spot. Take my brush once again, I'll zoom in so I can see better what I'm doing. Option click to pick my source, so around here, and then simply brush over the offending spot, and that should have taken that away quite nicely. So simple fix there just to avoid me having to go into Photoshop. If I turn off my local adjustment layer, I can see the effect it's having, and it's subtle, but I think that'll do. If I need to return, I can just grab my brush again and fill in any more areas that I want to. Couple of tasks remaining, perhaps a little bit more clarity, just a tiny amount, and I think I'm satisfied, and I will stop there. So if you remember, this is how the image looked out of camera, and I can simply option click on the reset button to see so. So that was before, and then with after are few simple adjustments in Capture One 10.1.